Yo, what's going on, guys? And today, of course, we got to talk about the news that my colleague Michael Scotto put out, and that is Cody Martin has signed a deal with the Indiana Pacers. It is a hardship exception. If I could speak, Martin has averaged 6.2 points in 6 NBA seasons with the Charlotte Hornets and the Phoenix Suns. Cody Martin is the other brother of the Martin twins from Nevada, University of Nevada. Caleb plays for the Dallas Mavericks. And let's go ahead and discuss this. I want to hear your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of this deal? And do you guys think Cody's going to be someone who's going to help them? So let's break down this Cody Martin situation for exactly what it is, as the Indiana Pacers are 1-6. Let me hear those thoughts. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe button to help out the channel a ton. So the Pacers, I don't want to say it's a full-blown crisis, but dude, they've got a lot of players hurt. I think at this point it's like 8 guys hurt. That's kind of a rough patch. It's closing in on a catastrophe. So how are they managing it? Their first move was to attack the acute scoring drought by bringing in the bucket getter Mac McClung. I know he's only played 3 games, and it really seems like they're using him situationally. And now they're pivoting, and they're shifting from just looking for guys who can help put points on the boards, but to shore up their defensive perimeter on the wing and forward position, and a guy who can help out by playing multiple positions. Currently, if you look at the Pacers roster or injuries, let me list off everybody's hurt. Ray J. Dennis is day-to-day with a back injury. Johnny Furphy's ankle still out. Hamstring for Quentin Jackson. Benedict Mathurin has a toe injury. Andrew Nemhard, the shoulder. Obi Toppin had a screw put in his foot. Then Cam Jones is sidelined through November 9th. Tony East says so due to his back. TJ McConnell is out for at least a month, which is November 9th. And obviously we know Tyrese Halliburton. So right there, 3, 6, 9 guys as of right now, with 8 of them being fully out. So this is why they're using the hardship exception to sign Cody Martin. This isn't a long-term cap play. It's literally a necessary temporary measure to stop the bleeding and get the Pacers some healthy bodies for Rick Carlisle. So let's get into the film room on this guy. Let's talk about Cody Martin, how he fits for the rest of his season. His contractual status. They're bringing Martin in on a hardship exception. The league grants this when you have 4 or more players who have missed 3 straight games and are expected to be out for at least 2 weeks. With 8 guys down, they're not only meeting the criteria, they might be the definition of it. This gives them an extra roster spot to add immediate depth without long-term financial complications and commitments. Cody Martin's a wing forward. He's a guy who could play the big 2, the 3, even small ball 4. He's a steel lunch pail, brings his hard hat to work every night. He's not going to be a high-volume scorer, but he can put up shots. He's a glue guy whose effort is going to come from, putting in effort on both sides of the ball. As we said, about a 6 point per game score, kind of a complimentary score, and he's someone who's going to be one that you hope can open up the floor. And he's a decent secondary passer who minimizes mistakes, and he is a high energy impact defender who can kind of be a ball hawk. And I think his motor on defense and his ability to create events with steals and blocks are his bread and butter. Obviously, his jumper's been inconsistent, and as a scorer, really don't know what to expect. But I think with a guy like him, you put him in, he slots in as a complementary piece. Obviously, there's no way in hell that you were thinking that he was going to be a primary option. So, to me, when you look at their wing position, they are stretched paper thin at that position. And I think that's why they brought in Cody Martin. Literally at their guard spot, Ben Shepherd and Mac McClung are arguably their only healthy guys. So Cody Martin and Mac McClung's playing at the point, and Ben Shepherd is more of a shooting guard, small forward like Cody. So having Martin there, he addresses the need of having a healthy, durable body who can absorb major minutes. This takes off pressure from Shepherd, who's being forced to cover point guard duties, and also lets McClung focus on scoring. That's one of the things that I think is interesting. And did you know he was rated in the top 25% for mixed team defense in last year? So, I feel like that's decent. While having Aaron Nesmith and Ben Shepherd being your main forwards available with Obi Toppin now out, he gives them a natural forward to back up Nesmith and someone who can also play some of those 2 minutes, which frees up Shepherd to handle the backcourt minutes where he's needed. And out of the three of them, Ben Shepherd is the best ball handler. So at least having Shepherd to play those 2 minutes is decent. And with Obi Toppin being out and them really having Jarris Walker and Aaron Nesmith out there, I think this gives them a versatile enough player to switch onto guards and smaller forwards, giving the Pacers some small ball lineup flexibility, even if it's not his primary role. As if you look at the current depth with Jay Huff, Tony Bradley, Isaiah Jackson, and Pascal Siakam, Jarris Walker being the primary guys who are going to be playing the front court. I know they brought in Jeremiah Robinson Earl the other day, so he's someone who's also able to play. So it's really small ball situations that he'll need to play the four, but Aaron Nesmith has no one behind him besides Ben Shepherd to play that backup wing spot. So you have a guy like Cody Martin come in and play some minutes for you, I think is going to be helpful. And again, we talked about Jeremiah Robinson Earl, who was someone he didn't really play much the first 2 games. Really, he's seemingly been a real deep bench piece for them. But yeah, then you look at Jarris Walker. He was the only other guy who could play some forward minutes. So I think his versatility to slide between the 2, 3, and some small ball 4 situations for covering the extended absences for players like Benedict Mathurin and Obi Toppin, I think that's going to be good. And for Rick Carlisle's philosophy, their random offense, which got them to the NBA Finals, is built on speed, transition, spacing, and sharp decision-making. I think the Pacers relentlessly push the ball in transition with pitch-aheads. Cody Martin's athleticism and motor fits that need for a high pace perfectly. And Rick Carlisle's offensive half-court sets are very movement-heavy, and they want the ball every position to look different. So every possession, the ball can't stick and players have to do stuff and make quick decisions. I think Cody Martin fits that. And on defense, they're committed to establishing a defensive identity and competitive from whistle to whistle. And after ranking near the bottom of the league to start the season, I think that's just a non-negotiable priority that Rick Carlisle will use him as a defensive-oriented kind of connecting piece to stabilize their non-starting units and play with the starters. So his job is going to come in and immediately raise the defensive intensity of their bench units, and his activity is to get steals, make hustle plays in transition, and their goal to get back to a respectable defense. And in their offense, I think his low usage and really just guy who doesn't make mistakes is a reliable ball movement. He'll execute ghost screens and keep the ball popping without forcing bad shots or stagnating the offense and hit open ones, it seems like. And I think he can play 15 minutes a night. Out of the older guys they signed between McClung and Jeremiah Robinson Earl, he's actually someone's going to get some minutes. So I think come in and be able to fill the acute need for some defensive point of attack and a guy who can maintain the flow of their random offense. So I think Martin could actually be the yin to McClung's yang. He'll be that defensive-minded glue presence off the bench. And for Cody Martin, like I said, he's a high motor, emergency depth option, a situational defensive spark plug. And I think his immediate answer is to this crisis. And he's a healthy, versatile, defensively sound wing who can execute the movement-based offense that Rick Carlisle wants without being a drag on the system. And is he a long-term rotational piece once we're fully healthy, the Pacers? Probably not, but I think this is a team that maybe ends up riding the season out with them because of him bringing reliable energy, defensive accountability, and some, connective pieces that they desperately needed in a very weird season. So what are your thoughts if you made it to the end?